Mental Rep.
Welcome back to the Mental Rep, a district podcast where each week we dive into the complex topics of training, nutrition, and recovery with a roundtable discussion led by top professionals in the fitness and sports performance realm. My name is Daniel Boulay. I'm joined together by my co-host, Niel Portillo.
Hey, what's going on, guys? And we're joined today with
Jason Portillo.
90 kg USAPL powerlifting.
90 kg USAPL.
Junior
now, yeah.
Junior, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. You were a teen during your first meet.
Yeah, I was.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so
goddamn.
Yeah, why don't you walk us through like your first, actually, how did you meet us? Or how did you find us?
So I remember around not last summer, 2 summers ago, I was just had lost a good amount of weight. And I was maybe 180. Right now I'm sitting around 200, just to give you an example. I was maybe 180.
Thick.
The lightest I've ever been.
Were you single?
Were
you single?
At the time? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not single anymore. But so I remember I wanted to start powerlifting because one of my best friends, he started powerlifting and I saw how strong he was getting. So I was like, I want to start powerlifting, but I have no idea how to get into that. So I tried programming myself for a couple of weeks and I tore my meniscus. I was just pushing RPE 10 doubles on squats every 2 days, thinking that I was going to get somewhere doing that. And then I ended up, I went to the doctor, torn lateral meniscus, went into surgery. It wasn't an invasive surgery at all. Came back and I was like, okay, I still want to powerlift. I just don't know how to. So then I started looking for a coach on Instagram and I came across you guys because I saw Jorge was tagged in an Adelante video. And I'm like, he looks like a cool dude. Let me sign up on his Instagram. And I was expecting a call from him, but I got Dan instead.
He's like, I was expecting this machismo man, before the long hair, and he got.
No, I'm just kidding. No, Dan's great. Yeah, and then ever since then, signed up, came here, met all you guys, and it's just been an amazing time since.
Nice, and you're not always here all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, maybe once every 2 months.
Yeah. But
once a quarter kind of thing.
Yeah.
Graces us with his presence.
Once a semester. But you are one of our remote clients, remote athletes.
Yeah. So
how has that been? Your whole remote athlete experience?
At first, it was a little weird to get used to because I was I'm doing these workouts, but it doesn't feel like I'm getting much guidance behind them at first. Because I just didn't know that I could reach out to Dan whenever I wanted to.
It's so weird. I'd have to reach out every week and a half and be like, "Hey, dude, how are things going? What's?"
Because I was just I don't want to bother him. I know he's a busy dude, so I was like, I'll just do my workouts and keep to myself. I'll just follow the program. But then once I realized I could reach out to him and even you guys too, I was like, all right, I can start sending my workout videos to them. And towards I guess maybe 2-3 months in, that's when things started to pick up a little bit, and started getting moving. I talked to Dan about competing. We signed up for our first meet, and then he guided me through that entire process and remotely because I didn't come here very often while I was in prep for that. And it went pretty well for my first meet, I'd say.
Pretty fucking solid.
Yeah.
You're still a teen lifter crushing some numbers.
Mm-hmm.
What did you hit?
I totaled 1220.
It took me 3 to 4 years to hit 1300, bro.
Yeah, I know, same. It wasn't until when I was at my heaviest at 180,
yeah.
That Adelante charity meet that I first hit 1300.
People don't realize how long that takes. You know what I mean? Meet to meet, you're not going to have your best performance each meet. And maybe you might increase your numbers to your total or on the single lifts every other meet. But it takes a long time to really build that total. And I think the best thing about it is since you started with us, we created a baseline for you at your first meet. And then now we can be oh, this is your first meet, second meet, third meet, fourth meet, whatever. You're hitting these totals now.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Mm-hmm. See the progression.
I think one of the biggest things I had to remind myself while in prep was to just, Dan says, just stay in the pocket. I tend to let my ego get the best of me sometimes, and I overshoot. In my Instagram bio, I have overshoot king just because I tend to overshoot.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have powerlifter in your IG bio?
No.
Oh man, really?
No.
Then we don't know that you're actually a powerlifter.
Oh, it says USAPL 90 kg, so I'd assume people would know.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been good these past couple of weeks. I've been staying in the pocket. But
that's why everything feels pretty good right now.
Yeah, but I was really satisfied with how my meet came out. The numbers I hit were pretty pretty good. I was not expecting to hit any of the numbers I did. And obviously I just thanks to all of you guys for helping me with that. That was like just a new experience. I learned a lot, and I'm ready to do it again.
Which you're about to in a few weeks.
Yeah, in a couple weeks. I think now 6 weeks out.
Gobbler, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Iron Gobbler.
I have a few people competing there.
Yeah, Nate's competing. So
Oh, really?
you'll be with the big boys.
Nice.
But you're which session are you in the afternoon?
Afternoon.
90, yep.
Nice. It's gonna be fun, dude.
Yeah, I wanted to do 82 and a half, but then after I finished competing last May, I think I cut for maybe 2 months. It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It wasn't for me.
Or
But-
you texting me like, dude, I'm doing 90. I'm like, well, that was short-lived.
Yeah. Because like it wasn't even so much the fact that like losing the weight was hard. It was just like I just couldn't find the discipline in me to be like, I actually want to drop down 82 and a half. No, I just wanted to be lighter, but like I feel good where I'm at right now. I feel mobile.
Yeah.
I don't feel like sluggish. I get a little winded when I climb up the stairs every now and then, but that's fine.
So
I think we gotta start doing a little cardio, tossing that into your programming. But
quick story, like the first powerlifting meet I did, or USAPL meet I did, was States, right? In 2017, I think. And Dan and I actually competed against each other, right? And we were both
oh yeah, dude, you beat me by like being a half kilo lighter.
Oh yeah, half
Fucking
kilo lighter.
nonsense. We told him the same exact thing, but you beat me on Wilkes back in the day. Now it's dots.
Now it's
whatever.
dots, yeah. But yeah, we were both 74 kilo lifters, and then man, I went to the Philippines that summer, and I don't know if you know anything about Filipino food, but it's pretty good, but super fatty, super rich, real delicious. And I came back like an 83 kilo lifter. 80.
You were pushing like 93.
I was pushing 93, maybe.
Well, 90 now.
Maybe into that year, I was like, I just kept growing and eating. You know what I mean? And I just didn't want. I had the same like mentality where I was like, yeah, cutting is not for me. You know what I mean? I just want to get stronger. I want to build and just have fun with it. I guess when you were cutting, did you build better habits with eating? Nutrition?
Sort of, because it's kind of inconsistent. Because when I was cutting it was summer, so I didn't have to worry about school. Now I'm throwing school into the mix. It's like now I actually have to find time to eat. And so like some days I'm eating like maybe 3,000 calories, and other days I'm like just cracking 2,500.
Okay.
So it's like it's all over the place. But I try to keep my protein up, and if I do have a big workout, I try to like carb up before, so like I'm not dying.
Yeah.
Today I just made a mistake and I couldn't find time to eat breakfast. So I also had to wake up today at 6 o'clock because I had work at 7.
Dang.
So
What do you do?
I'm a PT aide.
PT aid.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is that something that you're trying to do?
Yeah, right now I'm just trying to build my resume up a little bit, just because I do plan on going into PT school after undergrad. That's the plan. That is subject to change just because I change my mind like every 5 months.
It's okay.
But so far that's sticked. So we're sticking with it.
Awesome.
Nice. I think I changed my major like 7 times in college.
Yeah, I remember reading your monologue on Instagram.
So why physical therapy?
So I guess it's kind of like typical when people say it's like, oh, I've been to physical therapy because of an injury and whatever like that. But I did tear my meniscus, my lateral meniscus, and I didn't exactly go to physical therapy. I just came here and worked with Scott for a bit. And then after going through that process, I was like, all right, do I want to drop out or go to PT school? Very far ends of the spectrum. And I just leaned against PT school just because I got the job as a PT aide, and working there has really showed me like not just the fitness side of exercise, but the rehabilitation side of exercise as well. And it just sparked my interest. And it also helps that my boss has to be like he's like a mentor to me. Every time I'm at work, it always just feels like a classroom setting and not an actual work setting. And that has definitely pushed my interest towards the field more.
Awesome. I think it's so important to have mentors, right?
No, absolutely. Because, it's like that saying, like, hey, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with others. There's so many people who are doing things that you want to do or already have done it. And the easiest way to learn is go from point A to point B and find somebody who's already got or is already at point B. Kind of figure out how they did it and just do it faster than them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's the reason why we get coaches, so that we can learn. And obviously we love that if we're getting coached by that person, there's something about that coach that we want to take from, not just like the lifting aspect, maybe the programming, but what they've accomplished, right? And the fact that like Dan and I have been through or gone through a lot of like programs, making our own programs and seeing what worked and what didn't
many
work.
fucking programs.
And then just being able to be like, oh, I think this works.
Yo, conjugate,
dude. That's a throwback.
Yeah.
But that's like the number one thing what I love about coaching and trying to look for a coach, you know, someone that piques your interest, someone that, you know, you align well with and in their morals and values. And then also just becoming a friend too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like your mentor, is he like, do you look at him as like an older figure? He's older than you, obviously, but like...
he's not that old. He's like 30, 31.
31?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's kind of like more of like an older brother type figure to me.
Yeah.
Just because like the relationship him and I have is just very like, I don't want to say like boss and employee. It's like where he treats me as a friend. And that is just good because every time I go to work, like, don't get me wrong, it's a job. Sometimes I wake up, I'm like, I don't want to go to work today. Like today. But there are days where I'm like, you know, I'm already having a pretty good day. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to work and it's going to be a good day just because I'm probably going to learn a couple new things and I'm going to leave more intelligent than I was when I started my shift.
So I guess try to maintain your schedule of work and school and training. Like, how do you manage that?
So the big thing for me is just building a routine and habits. So at least for like when I usually mark the start of like a new period like by semesters because that's just how school starts also. So like the first 2 weeks of a semester are kind of like my grace period to play around with my schedule a little bit. So right now in the summer I was working like 24 to 32 hours. So like if I had nothing else going on other than like the gym, so it's easy to manage. But now with classes and stuff, I'm still working 3 days a week, but my hours got cut in half. So usually I planned my schedule ahead of time because I knew I was going to be working during the semester. So my class schedules gave me 3 days open so that I can have general flexible working hours that most companies could work with. And then after that, I usually just put my workouts wherever they fit. So like I usually have like 2 to 3 hours of time to work out depending on what the workout is for that day.
Dude, he sounds like a better student than both of us combined.
Oh my God. Like, I'm listening to everything that you're saying right now. I'm like, fuck, why didn't I not do this in college? I wouldn't have taken so long undergrad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always perfect. I mean, obviously there are days where like I just don't do anything other than like the gym and my job, and I just forget about school because it's not fun.
So you just get degrees. Scott would not be happy if I said that. It's a good thing he's not here right now.
XI, baby. But yeah, man, I feel like, and that resonates a lot with me because like in college, I wish I had like that push. I mean, honestly, I had Dan, you know, but we were friends. Like we were like, he was like an older brother to me as well as your mentor. But, you know, we were in the same classes, you know, and there were times when we would be like, yeah, let's just go to the gym or let's just get food. You know what I mean? Not saying that we, you know, all our listeners or anyone in college are athletes to do that, but, we weren't the best students, you know?
No, I mean, at the end, we started picking it up and realizing like, shit, we got to get our stuff together. But
yeah.
I think you definitely learned that a lot earlier than we did.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of, so this has only just started this year, by the way. I need to preface that. So like, yeah, I know right now it sounds like I have like my shit together. I don't. Because the first 2 years of college, like freshman, sophomore year, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So when I first got accepted into Rutgers, I wanted to go into the business school, but I got denied. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to put in the work to get into the business school because I don't want it that bad. So I just decided to stick with exercise science, but I had no idea what I wanted to do with it. So I'd like half-ass all my like requirements and stuff. And I just wouldn't care because I'm like, I don't know what I would do with my life and I don't like school. And it wasn't until this summer where I was like, all right, like PT school is like an option that I'm like actually leaning towards. So let me start trying in school now. Cause like I've done enough in the past 2 years to get by without like butchering my GPA. Like I still have, I like came into this year with like a 3.4. So
okay. Damn, all right.
So right now, like I'm just trying to maintain that and just keep the momentum going. Cause now I actually have a level of like intrinsic motivation to do good in school that I had never had before.
Now, is that because of the people that you surround yourself with?
Partially. I didn't know that PT school is as competitive as it is to get into until I started talking to my boss about it and like the other physical therapists at my job. So once I realized like, damn, like if I don't pick it up now, like I'm just gonna get left behind. And like I actually have to start looking for like different opportunities in like inpatient therapy, like working at like a hospital setting, stuff like that. I also want to go into like research, like reach out to some professors at Rutgers and see if I can like just shadow them for a bit. I don't know. But definitely the people I surround myself with. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many of our friends, especially even like people in the exercise science field, who they went to their undergrad just saying like, I want to go to PT school because that seemed like the practical thing to do. But without like that same mindset that you have right now, a lot of people ended up getting left behind. I know so many friends who, you know, again, they're like my age. They're like in their late 20s, pushing 30, still trying to figure it out because at the same time, they weren't really trying back in undergrad. So, hey man, you're doing pretty well.
I'm trying.
I guess it's actually a good transition to kind of talk about like the difference between when you were cutting before and then cutting, or not cutting before, but like just your eating habits like before and then now that school started again. Can you just kind of like tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when I was at home in summer, when school wasn't like going on, eating was a lot easier to stay consistent with. I would cook my own meals or I'd eat whatever my mom cooked. And like my mom like recently has transitioned to a healthier lifestyle too. So everything she cooked was like generally healthy and like, I don't want to say lower in calorie, but just not anything I have to worry about, you know? Before, different story. But but now that I'm in school, it's like I don't cook my own food because I have like a dining plan at Rutgers because I'm just lazy and don't feel like cooking at school.
Life of a college student.
Yeah. So I just have to depend on whatever the dining hall has, and sometimes just have to resort to just dry chicken, and that's fine. But because of like the sporadicness of my schedule, I just have to fit in going to the dining hall whenever I have time. So sometimes I can only make it to the dining hall once a day, so I'll maybe pile down like 2,000 calories in one session, go to class, go work out, and then at night I'll like drink a protein shake and like a pack of Belvita cookies or something. And call it a day. It's like not the best, but like I'm just doing what I can.
This is the first time I'm hearing about any of this.
Yeah, because like
why don't we talk nutrition enough? Like what's going on, man?
I don't know. You just gotta ask me. I just forget. I forget to talk about it because it's like I don't feel like it's affected my workouts necessarily.
Yeah.
I still feel really good when I work out. I still feel like energized throughout the day, except just today you caught me on a bad day. It's gloomy, you know, not enough sun, not enough calories the night before. Like yesterday my dinner was a protein shake and like half a box of Cheez-Its. So
It's college.
V20 again.
Oh my god. Anyways, bro. Yeah, so how is it managing like as a college student, how is it managing time for things that you like to do, like maybe going out? And I know that you're in like a long distance relationship. Like how do you, for all the listeners who are in college or who are barbell athletes, like what would you tell them, you know, trying to manage time and fun, you know, like
well, I feel like I'm the wrong person to ask that just because I don't really go out.
Okay.
I just never really was one of those people that like to go out just because I don't necessarily do well in social settings. So I guess like whenever I do on the small occasions, it's pretty simple just because I plan for it. So if I know I'm going to like go out or something on like a Friday or Saturday night, I'm just going to spend the days before like preparing for that. So like if I have an SBD on the weekend and I know I'm going out on a Friday night, then I'm just not going to drink so I can hit my SBD the next day and be fine.
Better than us, dude.
I was going to say, like, dude, like one common theme I'm getting from this conversation, which I'm loving, is that you plan really well.
Yeah,
you
I
like think about like what's going on, what's going to happen. You're planning accordingly. You know, where did you get that?
My girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things she'd always bugs me about is not like planning my days well enough. And during the summer, I'll give it to her. She's right. During the summer, I don't plan anything because there's nothing to do other than go to the gym and work. But now that I have school and I have all these other responsibilities on top of my mind, it's like if I don't plan, then my day is going to fall apart. I'm going to spend most of the day just anxiety ridden. And that's never fun.
Yo, shout out Angela.
Yeah,
shout out to
facts.
Angela, yeah.
Facts.
Dude, sounds like a keeper.
Yeah, she is.
Don't mess that up, man.
No, I'm not planning on it.
Well, I think Dan told, or you told me when we were at Alante how like she's like 20 pounds, 30 pounds away from benching like the same amount. Or what was she, what did she say? What was the story?
Hold it.
I was
Okay.
going to say, damn.
Or like for volume, what was it?
So I remember like my last block, Dan had given me a 3x7 on like Larson's or something, 3 count pause or 3. It was something like that.
Something just stupid.
Yeah.
I was just like, stop eating that.
Yeah, so I was doing that with maybe 205, just because it was like ascending, like RP 6, 7, 8. So it was like my first set of like RP 6, and I sent her the video, and she texted me. She's like, "Wow, babe, you're only benching like 50 more pounds than I do." And I'm like, okay, like I'm not using my legs. I'm pausing it for 3 seconds, and like let's chill out here. Right? But nah, her bench is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What is she benching?
Damn.
right now she had hit 135, but like it's like one of those things where like I just know for a fact she has like 20 more pounds on that bench that she's just afraid to do.
Yeah.
She's working through it though.
Okay.
Her and her coach are doing really well. She's going to compete in January, and I'm really excited to see what she's going to hit. She already qualifies for CNATs with her totals now.
Dang. And what weight class is she?
48, I think.
48.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, dude. So you're 90, she's 48, and she's 50 pounds.
Yeah.
From your Larson.
That's the tall side.
Yeah, basically. I mean, yeah.
To backtrack a little bit, but she is really helpful in helping you like plan out your days and just kind of be a little bit more what's the word, responsible.
Yeah, definitely a huge influence on that end.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for that little push to plan, then I wouldn't be. It sounds like I'm organized. I promise you, when I go through my days, it's not that organized. But just like on paper, I just try to structure things a little better than I used to do.
Yeah.
Dan and I worked for a period of time trying to figure out whether I should be working out 4 days or 5 days, 4 days or 5 days. And every time we tried 5 days, I just would not
fucking fall apart.
Would not, like, my shoulder would start hurting me, and then I'd be like, I'm too tired. Like, and the 5th day would only be like a day of like accessories too. Like, wouldn't be like any compounds, but it just never worked out. And I was like, let's just do 4. And then 4 is the magic number. It's what's been working. And I just feel strong with 4 days.
So would you say that your relationship with Dan in terms of like coaching or programming, like, do you guys work together to build the program? What exercises you guys evaluate, like how you did your meets or your technique? Like, how does that work?
Dude, like every like 3 weeks, I get a different text from him. Like, yo, can we add this into the program?
And then I look at my next block and it's not there. And I'm like, all right.
Time it's there. Half the time it's there.
I said I wanted leg extensions and I never got them.
Give the man leg extensions, man.
Dude, you're in a strength block now.
Yeah, but even as a warm up,
let the legs grow a little bit, you know? Wait, so I remember you saying like, yo, I was doing like high bar 6s for the longest time.
Oh, no, I was just doing high bar volume for like 3 months. It started off as like 4 sets of 10, like RP 6, 7, 8, and then like 85% of my
Top set.
RP of my top set.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like that for a month. And I remember like that was like the first time in a while that I was working with weight less than 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sending the videos to Dan, and I'm like, can we just do something else? Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Because after it, like with that high of volume for me, it was so hard to differentiate like the difference between an RP of 6 and an RP of 7.
It's hard, yeah.
It really is.
It was just all cardio.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next month was 4 sets of 8.
I knew it.
And then the month after that, 4 sets of 6.
Yeah.
And then now we're at 3 sets of 5 tempo.
Yeah.
High bar.
Okay. So walk us through that, Dan. Like, what's the point of like the 10s, the 8s?
Just sucks. Build up mental capacity.
No, that's literally
No, honestly, like
Get your mental reps in.
mental.
that was funny.
Thanks.
Like that. No, honestly, it's like, I feel like as a powerlifter, like one of the biggest things, especially like back in my day, like people would just end up burning out so quickly during a meet, or like they would have such a great strength block. And then once they get to the peaking phase, it's just, everything just goes to shit. Just everything goes down the hill. And one thing that we're really realizing now is like, you know, if you really want to be good, you have to build up that work capacity. You have to build up your cardiovascular endurance, especially within the movements, because then once you kind of build up that GPP, like you're just going to feel in such a good spot. Like right now, like, dude, you just took your opener for 4 on tempo on a high bar the other day.
Yeah. I trash talk it before and I wasn't happy doing it. But like now, like this far out from it, I'm really happy that I did do all that volume, not even just on squat, but like deadlifts and bench too. Like I had a 3x8 conventional deadlifts, 3x12 bench. Like it was just disgusting amounts of volume, but it worked because here I am now 6 weeks out and I'm repping out numbers that I wouldn't have even considered to be a single in my last prep.
Yeah.
Like yesterday I hit a 3 sets of 5 tempo with 370 pounds. like high bar on squats.
Yeah.
And that was a single to me last time I was in prep.
So I think something we should end off with is, some advice that you guys would give. You guys have heard his story, heard some of the difficulties he's facing right now, especially in college. So give some advice. You guys have lived through it. I feel like that's one of the best things we can end off with.
Yeah, give me some advice, guys.
Yes. Well, I would say this.
I told you.
Bro, I think the number one thing that a lot of, I guess, people your age are going through it in college and trying to be a barbell sports like athlete, like a powerlifter, weightlifter, is the planning, And before, that's something I really didn't understand because I would just be in the gym all the time, you know what I mean? And then I'd also do my work in the gym. I mean, I was working at a gym. So it's like, I never really separated the two, but you have the opportunity that you can separate the two. Like when you're in the gym, that's time for you to work, you know what I mean? And then when you're at work, that's when you work. And when you're out of there, you do your schoolwork, and then you have your separate life. So having the balance of just separating things in your life and not saying like, hey, like I am just a power lifter. I'm also a boyfriend. I'm also like a PTA and, a brother, a son. Like these are other aspects in your life that are important to you, So that's something that's like a lot of people don't really know how to do. And I felt like I was just like, when I was starting powerlifting, I'm just a power lifter. You know what I mean? This is me. This is my identity. Yeah. But the fact that that's not your identity, that's awesome. You have anything to add to that, Dan?
That was really well said. I wish I said something first. I have to follow up with that. Yeah. No, but honestly, like kind of echo what Neil said. It's just like a big thing is like, hey, like figure out where your priorities are. Continuing to prioritize those things, but don't, allow, the gym's always going to be there. I think it's awesome the way that you train, the way that you prep, obviously that your numbers are showing it, but remember to like take like those ebbs and flows of like, hey, like there are times where we're going to push and we're going to even have these conversations where there are going to be times where we pull back a little bit. And part of that is like, hey, to create that balance in your life. And even on our first conversation, it was like powerlifting, there's a lot of burnout. A lot of people get bored with it and a lot of people drop out even though they have so much potential simply because like powerlifting is very boring. It's very repetitive. And that's how you get good at it, by being okay with the boring.
Yeah. Be okay with mundane stuff.
Yeah. Allow it to, have like those highs and lows and just embrace the consistency behind it. And don't fail out of school like me.
I'm gonna try my best not to.
Yeah, I was gonna also say, what is next for you now? So you're prepping for this meet, and do you have any like small goals that you want to hit besides the numbers?
I want to qualify for CNETs.
Okay.
I don't think, realistically speaking, that's going to happen in November. I don't think I'm going to qualify, but I do want to qualify for next year. And I was actually going to talk to Dan about this afterwards. I wanted to take a time off from competing to just build a crazy total and just actually go to CNATs and compete and not just show up for the experience.
That would have been nice if somebody didn't accidentally sign up for Gobbler.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, I got a text from this guy maybe 3 months after we were talking about building a total, just building a good base, take some time off. I see a text like, I just signed up for Gobbler. Let's start prepping.
Yeah.
Dude, you're better than me. Like, I feel like I would sign up last minute and then just be like, oh man, there's no more spots.
Oh, dude, I camped it like a sneaker drop.
Yeah.
Like I said,
do that now.
I set my alarm. I woke up and I was like, all right, Gobbler just dropped. Let's sign up.
Do it. But I do think that you should always like at least do a meet to compete. I told you this. Like, you got to compete to get that skill of competing. You know what I mean? Just being in the on the platform. Get the platform rust, as they would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe after this meet, building your total, getting stronger, maybe doing one tune-up meet, and then just going into the into CNATs as like a beast.
Yeah, that's a plan.
Yeah, a new reformed athlete who focuses on nutrition and talks to their coach.
I do my best.
You do your best.
He talks pretty well to me about training.
Yeah.
Not about food. I forget about that aspect sometimes.
I do love though when you do send him stuff. Dan will actually send it into our group chat and be like, "Yo, this guy's like killing it." I'm like, "Awesome, yeah."
I didn't know. Oh,
never mind.
Too much. Don't catch him
Oh,
up.
wow.
Yeah,
that's a confidence booster.
There you go.
Damn it, man! Come on, man. Keep him humble.
I just love his energy though. But I guess that's it for this week, man. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I've never been on a podcast before.
Yeah,
this is great.
Do you have anything you want to say to the listeners as a a collegiate powerlifter, you know?
Yeah. So this, I need to preface this by saying I'm not just trying to advertise the district, but I do have to say that signing up with them has been one of the greatest decisions I could have made for not just my powerlifting career, but also just like my life as a whole. I've learned a lot being here. I've learned what I enjoyed, what I don't like, and I've even been influenced to start coaching myself. I got 2 clients.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, like if you guys are just afraid to start lifting and you feel like you need someone to push you, like these are the people to do it.
It was great to have you, man. Love you, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. The mental rep.